Because I'm not even having sex right now. Like
Ever in life?
I mean, yeah, once I get married and we,
You what? All the way.
you know,
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about KG and Amber. And we're kind of just releasing some information. We're kind of just talking about the fact that there's a bit of confusion, I think, for us as audience members. Maybe we're missing some important videos or some important clips from the show. But we've kind of seen a shift with KG and Amber. Both of them actually have shown us different shifts. One with being marriage and two with being kids. And this is like the second time we found, or second or third time right now, but this is twice I can remember off the top of my head, where they both haven't spoke about something which is so obvious, right, in this particular process. Number one was the kids. She was confused when he said he wanted 5 kids. She's like, we hadn't spoke about that. And number two now is the celibacy situation or semen retention that KG is doing. She again is surprised by that as well before marriage. But I think number three, what surprises us is KG's sudden semen retention before marriage, when marriage wasn't something that he was desperate to do. So now that means if you are semen retention, you're going to be wanting to push towards marriage, which means marriage is going to be important because you are being celibate before marriage. And I think that's where the confusion for a lot of us is coming from in regards to both Amber and KG, because they keep talking about how they talk so much, yet we keep seeing clips of them being confused by each other's behaviors. Amber's told us that she told KG about the situation with the kiss of Ron on the live that we did, but he never knew. So we just are getting absolutely bamboozled, and that's what we're going to discuss today. If you like this kind of content, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of what uploads. Stay hydrated. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. People keep saying to me that they keep thinking I'm saying you got the men aroused. Listen, if your ears are hearing you got the men aroused, you got problems. Okay, you got bigger problems than me singing minerals. You are thinking about D. Okay, get your mind clear. Okay, stay hydrated too, because the streets are hot. Turns out liquid gold. All right, cool. The squeeze are hot, baby. Let's talk about it. So I think one of the confusions really with KG and Amber that we're finding is this really different conversation they're having, where they don't know much about each other seemingly all of a sudden, right? Because even in the very end clip where Amber's talking to big man Tommy, uncle nephew Tommy, she's talking about how she never knew that they mentioned it, but she didn't know he was that serious. And it's like, so what conversation were you having that you didn't know he was being serious about semen retention? Like, why is it that conversation at the bar seems to be the first time that you guys are really having a discussion about his semen retention before marriage? Why is it seemingly, I'm saying that because it could be editing, they're going to force sometimes conversation production, right? I'll give you that caveat. Let me put this caveat here. It could be editing, and it could be they force them to have this conversation. But since I don't know this, I'm going by what I see. Now, why are they not having a serious conversation before it gets to this point? Why is it that we had a conversation weeks ago about the X situation, or sorry, I shouldn't say weeks ago, days ago, about the X situation, where he's mentioned we want 5, I want 5 kids. You didn't know that, and in the midst of that conversation, you didn't get to know that he had semen retention before marriage. And now we're at this point in the show, and he's talking about semen retention, and you're all surprised. How is that possible when the conversation we just had at the bar led to the conversation around semen retention? So either he's omitting information, or you guys are not going deep in these conversations. It's very surface level, and maybe you're not as good as you're making it out to be, as the production are showing us, really, between Amber and KG. Or it could just be that, listen, that's just the way they flow, right? It really could be that. Let's watch a bit more on this clip here.
Basically,
So how you
basically
retent?
celibacy. We talked about a little bit of it, but I didn't know like he was applying it.
What you call it again?
He calls it semen retention.
Semen
But it's
retention.
basically
Now, she said, obviously, he told me a little bit about it, but I didn't know he was actually applying it. Now, either he didn't let her know, properly, that would make her understand, or two, she's not paying attention. Oh, good water. Oh, she's not paying attention. Stay hydrated, guys, because it's hot in the streets. Or she's not paying attention to him, right? Because how are you missing this key information that is important, that he wants to have semen retention before marriage? Which, by the way, we weren't sure, because we thought that marriage wasn't that important to either of them. But now it seems like it is, right? And we also heard, obviously, in the last episodes beforehand as well, where Amber said that she doesn't mind being a mother over a wife. And I'm not even going to shoot that. Do you know what I mean? I know it's not great ethos, but I'm not going to shoot that, because we're in a modern 2021 where men are moving mad, women are moving mad, and traditional, it's not always everybody's traditional. Culture's not everyone's culture. We have to be okay with that, right? So it's interesting to kind of see that then that she didn't know that, or she didn't realize that he was being serious about that, and that's a really big indication that you're not paying attention, or you're not delivering the information clearly and effectively, that that this is something that he's a hard line for him. But I kind of understand why she probably didn't take him seriously, and I'm going to show you a clip as to why I don't think why she took him seriously, okay? Because when he's explaining his situation around the semen retention, I want you to pay attention to this particular situation right now, okay? Because it's the way he talks about the situation. You will realize that how would she be able to take it seriously if you're not seemingly taking it seriously? Listen to this.
You what? All the way until you get married?
Yeah, because
Like, I can't convince you a little bit? Maybe.
No, I mean, don't count your boy out just because.
Pause. Right? She says, obviously, and I didn't like the way that she did this. I can't, change your mind. This is what ladies complain about men doing to them. When women say, I'm going to be celibate, the men trying to challenge themselves to try and break your celibacy. It's the same thing that she's doing right now. You mean I can't tempt you to do this, right? You mean I can't tempt you to break your celibacy? I can't tempt you to break your ground, right? And this is and I'm not cussing, because this is everyone's got a mind to try and challenge things, right? We all try to be special, because it's about being special. When you try to challenge things, you want to be special. You want to be that one person that breaks that person in a certain way, or you want to be that person that can have control. It's an element of control in aspects. Why not just leave them alone? And the reason why is because we all want to have our way in some shape or form, right? Cool. I'm not beating her on the bush. I'm not being able to stick with that. What I'm focusing on is his response. I don't know if you heard it. I want to go back again and play it one more time so you heard it correctly. Listen again.
You what? All the way until you get married?
Yeah, because.
Like, I can't convince you a little bit? Maybe.
No, I mean, don't count your boy out.
Now, she said, I can't convince you a little bit. And he said, no, And then when and it felt like, just before he says these lines, it felt like the energy that was being moved that moment is, I don't want to lose you kind of energy, right? Because then he tries to define it by saying, don't count your boy out right now. And it's like, it's like you were trying to defend. You don't have to defend this, bro. But it felt a bit like, I'm going to lose this girl, so I'm going to defend myself in that moment. So he says, don't count your boy out, almost like to, don't turn away now. Don't turn away now. Like, look, no, don't count me out. Like, I may not do this fully all the way. And that's the energy I was kind of getting from KG in that moment when he said what he said. I was like, no, bro, you said you're going to do semen retention. You're going to do semen retention. Now, I know how hard it is to be a celibate out here. I'm going to be very honest with you. I've not successfully done this in a relationship. I'm gonna keep it 100 all the way real. I've unfortunately not been able to do this in a relationship because it gets like a month or two in and then my balls are burning. I ain't gonna lie to you, cuz listen, God knows me. I'm not trying to lie to people. I always like to keep it 100 a buck. And I confessed this on YouTube. If you watched it months back when it actually happened, I said, guys, I'm sorry, I've broken my celibacy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've broken the celibacy with my girlfriend at the time, and it's mad. Okay. Now, here's my thing. I believe in celibacy. I believe we should all practice it because it changes things when you involve sex, right? So I regret having sex, but I don't regret having sex because the sex was amazing, but I do regret having sex because it speeds up things and doesn't allow you to see what you're supposed to see, right? And so when he's saying about semen retention, stand your ground. If you're on that thing, be on that thing. Don't flutter and flicker now. Just stand your ground. Especially as a man, like if you say this is what you're about, be about it. Right? Because it has implications. Now, I'm not saying that, listen, we don't fail in between, but you've already started making excuses before you've even fallen. Like, if you fell in the situation, we all understand, right? But if you start saying it and then you start backing up before you even get into a situation, you've already started backtracking, and that shows that you're not standing true on yourself. Like, no, we get it. Relationships happen. You get mad. You do things. You fall, right? But if you say you're going to do this from the beginning and then you backtrack at the beginning, almost like you want to make sure that she stays. Like you want to make sure that she's actually going to be with you. You don't want to lose her now by saying that you are going to do this properly. then it feels like you're trying to, and this is where I get scared where it goes into worship mode. Now, I'm not saying KG necessarily is doing it. I'm just going on the evidence I can see. Stay hydrated. I'm just going on the evidence that I can see. And that's what it kind of looks like. But I'm not saying that's the definite article. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm not saying that's 100% what I'm seeing. And obviously there's a different story underneath everything. But that's what it looks like. Slightly like, bro, you're going to allow her to pull you. Okay? And there's an element of control in that. I'm not saying she's controlling. I'm talking about the control in the relation in terms of who's leading. Okay, and so that's why I was a little bit concerned by that point there, right? Okay,
because, you know, I'm holding off. I'm practicing this semen retention now. I think the main thing, I'm just trying to protect the sexual energy because that is the most important energy that we as humans have.
Now, I respect him, right? He's going to say as well, he's protecting that energy because he wants to be able to reserve that for the right type of person, which Amber then says, obviously, she deserves that energy. She deserves that energy from Chris, right? And so I hear that, and I respect the reasoning why he's using semen retention. I know Chris is going through his spiritual journey at this moment as well, where he's trying to find his elevated self, higher self, in a sense. I spoke to him last season as well, and we spoke a little bit about this, and I've got no beef with him with that, you know what I'm saying? So I respect him. And you know, we had a conversation around it, so there's no beef here with KE. You know, I love the fact that he's trying to say he wants to reserve this energy and not just give it to the wrong person, because when you're dumping it elsewhere in wrong deposits, you know, you're not getting no return. And a return doesn't mean sexual. It means in terms of you're not getting that return energy of love, kindness, generosity. You won't be getting that because that person that you're dumping it into is just an incubator for that moment. Right? So I might not agree with necessarily energy per se, but I get it, right? In terms of the fact that this is meant to be something that you are giving to someone, and there's no reciprocation in terms of this love, care, appreciation, etc., etc. So then it's being wasted, right? And so I appreciate that. Let's watch a bit more of his clip and see.
And like, for me to be giving that away to women who weren't deserving of it, like, I was just like, what was I doing?
So reason for his actual process of joining the celibacy is because, like I said, you know, what was he doing? Giving it away to people who didn't deserve it, right? And this is a good lesson for everybody, I think. Whether you're Christian, whether you're not Christian, whether you're atheist, whatever you are, you know, conserve your energy in this area. You giving your body away to people and there's no reciprocation. I mean, as a Christian, I would advocate that you don't have sex before marriage. Listen, I'm just going to be honest with you, because it saves a lot of trouble that you, trust me, you won't get in some trouble up in here. But not only just that, but just because obviously when there's not a mutual reciprocation, you really are losing. When there's not a mutual reciprocation, you really are losing, because now you're dumping energy into somebody who's just taking from you. They're robbing you. Right? You may be getting some gratification in terms of you reaching your climax, etc., etc. But actually, oftentimes when we do this, we're looking for more than just gratification sexually. We're looking for love, you know, in these hopeless places, as Rihanna would say, right? And so when you are giving your body away, you got to really think, why am I giving my body away so easily? What is it I'm doing? Is it, listen, if you're having fun out there, listen, I'm not here to take away your fun. I'm just here to let you have a different perspective. Because I've told you guys on a video that I did, sex is not free. In any right or God, sex is not free. It always comes with a consequence. It always comes with complication. It always comes with energy. It always comes with emotions. It always comes with strings attached, because, you know, we're human beings, and on a spiritual and emotional, soulish level, sex is deeper than just a physical act. It goes into those aspects as well. So it's not free. Okay? All right? So, you know, I appreciate that. One thing I would say is that obviously Amber's, you know, I think I said this on the live, and it was more or less not necessarily Amber herself, but more a case of this kind of energy. When someone says they're going to be celibate and you try to say, I can tempt you out of that, guess who else was trying to tempt someone out of doing something that they wanted to do? Satan. That's why I said that that's why I said, not necessarily she is Satan, by the way. I'm just going to be that clear. What I'm saying is that this is the same energy that man them use for women too. When you girls are celibate, and then they want to break your celibacy. Those men that want to break your celibacy, do they want to wife you after? The men that want to break your celibacy, oftentimes, how many of them want to wife you after? The ones that are intentionally trying to break your celibacy, the ones that are intentionally trying to challenge your celibacy, how many of them want to actually wife you after? So guess what? When I saw her doing that same thing, saying about trying to almost tempt him or lure him away from that, I said, how many times have men wanted that? I said, what were the chances of a woman wanting to stay too? Right? I'm not saying she's a bad person. Again, I want to make it very clear, we're talking about behaviors. Okay, whilst I think they were joking too, I think there was a little bit of banter, a little bit of back and forth in there. And KG was light, so it wasn't like he made a firm, and that's why I said he didn't make a firm stance and said, no, celibacy is for me. He said semen retention, and then he joked about moving his position when she said anything. So, you know, I can understand it was a bit of a joke and a bit of a lightness to it, a bit of flirtation to it. I'm just talking about the actual act that other people may be engaging in where they're trying to intentionally break your barriers, okay? But guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let us know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of what? Uploads. I still don't understand this marriage situation with KG and Amber. They need to have deeper talks. It's just that simple. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads.